welcome back. I'm Rapid, and this is Game 2 of the Go4SC2 Cup number 90 semifinals between Empire.Kas and mouzStrelok. Strelok going to be the green Terran on the left side of the map. Notice how I cleverly changed that from right to left, because I am a noob. And yellow Terran, Empire.Kas. Same colors as last time. That'll hopefully make it a lot easier for all of us to tell exactly who they are. As this is a TvT. On the map there's our Started Temple, which is the new Shatter Temple. That's what it's called in English. A couple little features. You do have that gap there. The platforms are on either side. Got some mad water spraying out there. And then instead of islands, you do have rocked off passageways to the island expansions. So in other news, Strelok over here on the left side. Gosh, why do I still have problems with that? Coming out of the last game with a win, so he's going to be up 1-0 in the best of 3 set. Yeah, semifinals are best of 3, finals are best of 5. So Strelok got a solid tech advantage and then pushed out with superior units and killed the lower tech marines of Empire.Kas. I guess that's kind of a spoiler alert, but hopefully you have already seen Game 1. So in other news, the same build going down for both players, as this is kind of the default Terran thing to do, in which you get barracks, or supply depot, barracks, and refinery. It's kind of all you do. It used to be a lot more interesting before you needed a supply depot to build a barracks, but then they were doing all sorts of shenanigans with barracks. They were like, no, supply depot first. Anyways, we do see both of those, you know, right as I say it's standard. We see no gas for Strelok, only building one barracks, and at 200 minerals, looks to me like he's going for a fast expansion. This is a little bit of a bigger map, and they are spawning in cross positions, so there isn't going to be as much of a threat of early aggression from either player. 340, 360, and Strelok needs to throw down. Yeah, there it goes. There goes his expansion. So the scouting SCV from Kas is scouting the wrong, well, he's scouting the right direction, but he makes a pit stop at the other base. And is he going to have a marine out in time? Yes, one marine at the bottom of the ramp. He's going to send down an SCV to start walling that off with a supply depot. SCV from Empire.Kas is moving on up to check out the base of Strelok. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. SCV tries to go up the ramp, but is denied by the one marine, so right now Kas does not know that Strelok is expanding, and IA has no forces. So if we check out the army, we see a grand total of 100 to 200. 150 to 50. That's what I meant to say. Pay no attention to the man behind the computer screen. So anyways, Strelok looking to throw down a bunker, supposedly right up, or maybe just like watching 4 scouts to start coming through that entrance. Minor pause for technical difficulties, like speaking and things like that. But we are back. 2 Marines in the center for Kas, and not looking to put on a whole lot of extra pressure. He does have a total of 4 Marines, and his tech path is going to be the 1-1-1 build. So going to be churning out a couple of Hellions, maybe? We'll see what he has in store for this. Lifting off the factory to go ahead and start building the second tech lab on it. And the build for Strelok just going to be 1 racks into command center, now throwing down a second racks and starting to build the bunker to defend the expansion, as his command center has just finished warping into an orbital command. Yeah, something like that. Does go ahead and use the extra mule from the energy started out in the orbital command. I think that is pretty great that they do start out with that 50 energy for a mule. So if you build it, you almost only pay, I think it's 300 minerals you get from having a mule. So you're only paying 100 minerals if you can get through a mule. So expanding for Terrans definitely a little bit cheaper, but as mules are their macro mechanic, that does you know, use up that extra advantage for your command center. Plus it still takes 400 minerals to build in first place, and that makes it a little bit hefty. So Kas goes ahead and let's see, he did not scout the bunker, so he has not seen anything that Strelok is doing. Strelok, unfortunately, does not have the units rallied to the mineral lines, is just producing SCVs that will stand there idle for a little bit unless he gets on the ball and goes ahead and does that. See here and here. He does go ahead and do that. So good on ya. Banshee coming out from the 111 build. Is Cloak on the way? Should check the production tab. Yes. We do see a Raven coming in. Picks up the SCV building, the engineering bay, and the one building supply depot. So right now there is no cloak detection for Strelok. Strelok in a lot of trouble, needs to go ahead and finish that engineering bay. The Banshee being pushed back, but now it has Cloakinators coming in here with 55 energy. That is enough energy for so many SCV deaths. He does have one scan in his natural expansion. There it goes down the scan. Is the Banshee going to get away? Yes, the Banshee makes it all the way over the side, and it is way, way down there. So I did not realize there was enough dead space to keep those Marines from killing it. The SCVs are maynarding back to the main. That'll make it about 26 SCVs in the main. Oh, and he scans twice, but still doesn't pick up the Banshee. Horrible for Braddock, and he is really, or Strelok, I think I said Braddock. Really hurting right now. He has one more scan, sending the Vikings to the wrong place. If he scans, then he's not going to find the Banshee at all. I really, really hope he doesn't do that, and no, he does not waste a third scan. He is going to try to get off a couple hits on these tanks as they do not repair. That will soften them up for future reference. So the Vikings from Strelok moving out into the mid, going to try to word fail again, chase that Banshee home, which they will not be able to do as they do decide to pull back in case there's any like Marine traps waited. Can you imagine if Marines could burrow? You could just like burrow them down there, and then all of a sudden this ball of 50 Marines pops up and kills everything all the time. It'd be worse than Bailings, and I don't think Terran need a whole lot of help with things like that may or may not be slightly strong. Yeah, you get the idea. Anyways, expansion is now up and running again for Strelok. He may, I was going to say he needed to Maynard out some of his SCVs, and he could still do with a little tiny Maynard, but I don't think that that's too overexpanded. He might just set the rally point for the command center down here, as that's kind of what Zergs do when they produce their drones. So we see the builds coming out for our players. If we go ahead and check out the unit tab, we see 38/31 harvesters for Empire.Kas, as he has a little bit stronger macro, if we recall from the first game. But he does not tech up very well at all, as we see he has 15 Marines, 1 Raven for detection, 3 tanks, and a Viking. As well as that first Banshee, which did in fact make it home, so good on him for that. And we see, as he has map control, going to go ahead and throw down the expansion at the gold base. So moving out with his lower tech army, although I guess he has mixed in the higher tech addition of a Raven and a Banshee into that. If we check the army tab, is Strelok going to be able to hold this off? And no, he's not going to engage directly. He's going to go up here and see if he can't come around. Actually, there's the long way is this way, but no, he's not going to go up there. He's going to catch these units out in the middle, and right now Strelok knows that he's coming around that way. He's going to move his troops over here to protect. Needs to start that Viking flower up here so he can prevent the siege. But his Vikings do get off the first shot, and he does have a superior number of Vikings, so he will be able to push that back. Cloak Banshee coming in here for the line of sight vision for the tanks on the low ground, but he does not manage to pick off the Banshee again. Crucial, gets away with 9 hit points and 16 kills, so that is a Captain Banshee right there. Captain Timo to the rescue. Repairing the tank, very good use of SCVs. He seems to love going mech, and along with his mech does remember to bring the SCVs to repair. That is a hefty number of SCVs. Does need to go ahead and repair the engineering bay, as it did almost burn down. So nice having that number of SCVs there. It all may need to pull it back in case he scans, but he does not have those tanks and forces there anymore, just maynarding his SCVs over to the gold base. And this is kind of a mirror matchup that we saw, well, it's a Terran versus, anyways, kind of exactly what we saw in the previous game. The Banshee harass into Kas with 3 base versus Strelok with 2. And moving over here, he's going to see if he has the gold, pokes in, sees the rock, decides to move in and siege up for a little bit of a harass here with the Banshee. Needs to check and see if there's any things hidden back there, and it's going to go around the long way. Going to go ahead and scout the base just to make sure there's no hidden base shenanigans going on for Strelok. And right now, if we check the Army tab, we do see that they are slightly even, although the tech advantage does go to Strelok, as he does have this massive air force, and that is going to really help him win this tank war against Empire.Kas. He does have about 8 Ravens out right now. Not actually about exactly 8. Anyways, moving on. So once again, Empire.Kas forced to retreat as he does not have enough to break the wall of Strelok. In the production tab, we see Thors coming out along with Blue Flame Hellions for Strelok. So Strelok loves this 2-base Terran play. If you look at the way his base is laid out down here on the mini-map, we do go ahead and see lots of supply depots combined with turrets surrounding his base, so not going to let any Banshee shenanigans happen. Loads up 4 Blue Flame Hellions into this medevac, and it's going to be sending that around the long way. But meanwhile, we see a giant push in the middle of the map from Empire.Kas, stacking all of his forces up around that Xel'Naga watchtower, and is going to go around the long way to see if he can get at the gold base. But there is nothing at the gold base for Strelok. Strelok just getting out his first Thor. I think it's his first Thor. Yes, first Thor has 8 Vikings, 51 SCVs against 74 SCVs for Empire.Kas. So Kas loves the macro game, and right now he's just going to start to kind of run away with this, with that gold base in full swing. Another command center coming up, getting poised to take his 3rd, and we do not see a command center. Yes, there's the command center from Strelok. Looking to start moving that out. He lifts it up before morphing it into an orbital command. That's kind of curious, but here comes in the push from Empire.Kas. He's pushing down on some unsieged tanks for Strelok, and Strelok does get down the point defense drone, so it's going to stop a few of those Marauder shots, but it is just not enough. That bunker is proving absolutely crucial. Tanks coming in there to siege. They run it a little bit too far. Here goes in the Thor to tank the damage, but he really does not need to go in that far, and all those tanks from Empire.Kas getting so much damage done. He's going to fly the command center out there for the vision on the tanks. If he did not have enough vision from those Vikings, he's going to run over the Vikings. Is he going to land them? No, he's just going to inch his tanks forward little by little, and he's taking so many shots on these tanks, he's just going to unsiege and move them in. But does he have enough hit points on these tanks? Is he going to lose one? No, he does save that tank and does definitely need to repair that now. He's going to go ahead and land his command center up at the upper left-hand corner of the base in that island expansion, which is now thankfully reachable by land. A little bit of a drink of water right there, and we are moving on to see Empire.Kas getting ready to throw down his fourth base. May go ahead and throw it down at the island expansion rather. He is building a 5th command center right now, so he's just going to go ahead and expand wide, and then go ahead and take this base back here. He's going to go ahead and make a push out into the middle of the map, and the crucial change you see here from the first game is that in the first game he had solid Marines against the tech from Strelok, and now he has mixed it up with a much higher tech unit composition with Marauders and Siege Tanks. Still nothing that can hit air, so if, well actually we have 3 Marines here who are going to help us out in that department. So he goes ahead and moves in the tanks, like runs up the ramp, sieges the tanks. Half the tanks are sieged, half the tanks are unsieged, and once they all siege up, he may want to land the Vikings on top of them. No, too many Marauders, and this base is going to go down for Strelok. So there goes Strelok's 3rd base, and this means he's going to be on 2 bases again that have been mining for the longest time. So he needs to run in those Marauders. No, he does not need to run those into those siege tanks. Sends the Vikings over there, keeps a couple back for some inexplicable reason. Starts the Viking flower up there, which is not long for life once Passage 1.3 comes out, and is going to push back Empire.Kas. Throws down the auto turrets. It's not going to get the other 2 auto turrets, just trying to get a little bit of worthless free damage on these tanks for Kas, as they are not auto-repairing. No more IMBA campaign upgrades. But the forces for Kas meet in the middle, and he has a whopping 16 tanks. And let's go ahead and check out the Army tab. We do see that Strelok is not too far behind, but a lot of that is in Vikings, which will help him win the air war, and hopefully then the siege war. But he may just decide to move straight in on these siege tanks. The siege tanks are doing colossal damage, but are not quite enough to take down the tanks of Empire.Kas. Kas shelling the natural expansion, and right now that is the only thing keeping Strelok in this game. If he loses that, then he will not be able to come back. We'll have no mining anymore, and the SCV is going to try to run up the ramp as they just go back to mine, but not enough as they all get picked off by the siege shots.